This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
Summers.farm.com. Summers.farm.com.
Hey, Kelly, how is this any different from the Monadnock Initiative 5 years ago that was thrown out? Do you remember that, Kelly?
Well, if the number of hits is any indication, quite a few of you have been following my promotional videos about Christopher King. King is a feisty indie reporter in Nashua. He commissioned me to attend court with him and observe his federal lawsuit. He took New Hampshire Senator Kelly Ayotte and the New Hampshire Republicans to court. He wants access to Ayotte events and isn't always getting it. Ayotte operatives say the events in question were on private property, so he doesn't have access to them.
What's your name?
It's none of your business.
When Ayotte events occur on private property, Ayotte operatives kick him out. King has complaints not only about the Ayotte folk, but also the federal system that heard the case last November. This was at New Hampshire District Court in Concord. King says federal magistrate Lanya Boyer McCafferty should have recused herself. He says this is because she used to work for the law firm that's representing the defendants. King says he's prepared to go to the U.S. Supreme Court. He's argued that there was a similar case in the past where the NAACP was granted access to a KKK rally that was held inside a private home. Anyhow, with that summary behind us, here's some more of what happened inside the courtroom in the early November hearing. I'm going to pick up with the testimony of Stephen Monier, who used to be the head U.S. Marshal in Concord, New Hampshire. Monier worked security for then-candidate Kelly Ayotte, and he reports that when Chris King went to one of Ayotte's events,
No reason for you to ask me to leave, except you have a content-based issue with what I'm doing here.
he made a beeline for Ayotte, shouting loud questions and interrupting her, while thrusting his camera in faces.
Many legitimate issues that are being raised in a movie that's coming out, okay? So, you know, it's not just me. The issue is that she covered up the Franconia shooting tragedy.
He has a conspiracy against Kelly.
No, I don't have a conspiracy against her. She tried against me and lost, though. Oh, you don't want my money out? Listen.
This is private property. Did you just hear him? You need to leave.
And a public invite.
Monier said he tried to create some space. He said, quote, "I was very concerned by his conduct," unquote. He says King tried to get very close, pushing past supporters of Ayotte. Monier says, quote, "He was very disruptive," unquote. This event, by the way, was in Manchester in the Millyard area around October 2010. The ex-marshal ended up calling Manchester police on Chris King during this event. Monier says he called police while King was near but not yet on the sidewalk. Monier tells King there was a protocol he should have been following to get access. He said King should have politely asked staff for an interview with Ayotte. King retorts that he was interfered with on the sidewalk. King attempts to show a video from the event, probably this video if I recall, but the video is heavily edited, so a lot of unrelated shots pop up, and unrelated commentary. When the word fascist pig crops up inside one of the videos Chris King is trying to show, Judge McCafferty looks perturbed.
Hey, Kelly, if you're a Mama Grizzly, let me ask you this. Why did you allow for unconstitutional DNA testing of New Hampshire youth?
Monier says at this event in Nashua, he, quote, "made arrangements," unquote, to get Kelly through the parking lot without Chris getting too close. King says, again, he was interfered with on a Nashua sidewalk.
Now, sir, you said it was a campaign that told you to arrest me, right?
Monier again, quote, "She was attempting to have a polite, planned conversation with reporters," unquote. He says King got louder and louder. At this point, Judge McCafferty warns King not to interrupt. during the hearing. Monier says to King, quote, "Your whole conduct is inappropriate," unquote. King says, "Do you think I'd ever get permission for an interview if they wouldn't even let me in? When I RSVP'd?" At this point, the hearing has been going on for a long time, and Ayotte attorney Jack Middleton apparently considers it so important he skips a medical appointment he had set 6 months earlier, even though he's got plenty of assisting attorneys. Now, assuming that the Ayotte people are right, and Chris King really is disruptive, it does seem appropriate to ask one question. No, I don't personally believe you should automatically have access to private property just because a politician is there. But would America be a better or worse place if federal politicians were besieged by angry cameramen more frequently? You tell me.
I'm not going to hit her with a camera. She's already in trouble in federal court with me, so don't talk to me. I'm not talking to you.
Seed saving, orchard care, companion planting, and butchery. Do you have skills in these areas or a desire to learn them? Samizdat.farm near the gorgeous White Mountains is looking for a farm manager. Maybe looking for you. Vermiculture, companion care, food preservation. Those are other skills that would help. Give them a shout and see if you're a match for this entrepreneurial mid-sized farm in New Hampshire. Samizdat.farm.com. Samizdat.farm.com.